I've changed my mind on reunions. I never thought about reunions in a way that says you want to go back in time. But the opening day team here we had a couple of years ago, the first team that played in Camden Yards, I got a chance to see, Mike Messina. Mike goes off and does his thing, and you don't see him for a while. And so this was really good. The '89 team was a really good group of guys. We all hung out. We all liked each other. And it was really great seeing a bunch of the guys back again. So I think I like reunions now.
You played on a lot of great teams, but this team wasn't this team wasn't a playoff team.
Well, it didn't turn out to be.
It didn't turn out to be. But is it, in a way, is it more special than some of those playoff teams?
Well, I think coming off the '88 season and the nightmare of the '88 season in many ways for us, the guys that experienced that had to become better teammates and support each other a little bit better. So there was a benefit from going through something so negative. And then the expectation was kind of low in '89, but we had a new influx of talent. We had some rabbits that were running around the outfield catching everything that was hit. We had some enthusiasm that came from hope and winning that started opening day. So it was a fun season. As the grind of the season wore on, I wouldn't say we became exposed, but we came back to earth a little bit. We had a really good start. But we found ourselves in the end of the season right where we wanted to be, with a chance to win in Toronto. And we really, in our minds, had them beat the first two games, and they came back with their experience, and they tied the game up and won it late, and snatched our going from worst to first season away from us. But none of us in the room after the game was over, when we had no chance, we got eliminated. We thought it was a failure. We all thought it was an extremely successful season. We were all very proud of what we were able to do. And that was a good group of guys in that clubhouse.
How about that first game of '89? You're coming off '88, and then you wind up beating Roger Clemens here, and you had a big part in that.
Yeah, that was exciting. And, we were talking about it, and I relived my 3-run homer against Roger. Roger, I think, struck me out the first two times, and it felt like my bat was underwater. He was throwing really hard, threw the ball up in the strike zone. And I came up with a chance to help the team with a couple of guys on. And I got down 0-2 quickly, and I fought and battled back, and I ended up hitting the ball that went out of the ballpark and left. But if you remember right, they came back and tied the game up, and Craig Worthington won the game with a sac fly. And to have him in that position, and to have him, step in there and become clutch and win that game, he had a lot of big hits after that first opening day. But I think it started us off in the right way, and it framed our hope.
This current team is struggling, obviously. Is there any way to get a message to these guys that this can happen?
Well, I don't know. I certainly can relate and feel the pain of going through a rebuilding process to this point, because I was part of the 0-21. We lost 107 games. It's a miserable time. But if you can turn it around a little bit and take an optimistic view, is that people are getting some chances to play that might otherwise not. The guys that were in that room up there, they got a chance to play in '89 because of a rebuilding situation. Carved out a pretty good career, became big leaguers. So there's abundance of opportunity, and there's an interesting team. I think the '89 team was a fun team to watch on many different levels. And I think when you have an opportunity and you're a young person and you're going out there playing almost with a little free will and no expectations, and then you find out that you can do it pretty well, I think a lot of people like watching that path. And so I would hope that the young Orioles would not grade themselves so much by the wins and losses at the time, but how they're improving and how that in the future they can win.
Cal, is there a lesson to be learned, though, from that '89 team? If your pitching's not that good, how much that outfield defense, the speed in the outfield means?
Well, I don't know. The pitchers up there, they were talking about, Petey Harness said, and Davey Johnson said they could just throw the ball down the middle. That's the feeling you want to give them. Mm-hmm. But the first line of defense is the pitchers, and they want to hit not the meat of the bat. They want to hit the end of the bat and inside part of the bat. They don't want to give up hard hit balls. But I will tell you that the group of guys that we had, they gave them a confidence because they were just making miraculous plays on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just shook your head at some of the plays that they were making, and it uplifted you and made you happy. But the pitching that year, it wasn't just because the outfield defense was good. They pitched. Ballard could have won 20 games. He was as good as you got. He had a couple of games where it didn't turn out well in the end. That could have been his. Milwaukee came in. Milwaukee was trying to find his way, and he had a sub-4 ERA, kept us in ball games all the time, and was durable. So you need the starting pitching to keep you in a ball game, and then maybe the defense can help, and maybe the offense can figure out a way to score a run. But we had some pretty good starting pitching that kept us in ball games, and then we were able to make the most of the late innings.
Cal, you've been a part of so many great teams, so some not so great teams,
yeah.
and a lot of clubhouses. What do you remember about the '89 clubhouse? And to follow up, is this event today like that clubhouse was back then?
It was fun, and Billy, as my brother Billy was saying, is that we sat back there for the pictures, and we all sat in a team-oriented way. It started to flow again as some of the small things that we remember about each other. And Tim Hewlett said that everyone was a comedian. I don't think everyone was a comedian, but when you're part of a family, all the little warts are identified, and all the joking kind of comes out, and it's always taken in the positive way. It was never. I don't think we had any dissension or any meanness in some of the ways, but everybody was fair game. And so if you did something a little funny in a game, or you had a mental mistake, or you did something like that, it was brought up in a fun sort of way. So I think all of us, I don't think we all felt the pressure because the expectations were lower, but I think we all kept each other in check as the season went on, kept us humble and kept us in our place.